Hey all, it's Coriander Stone here, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I recently hit 100 subscribers, and so I thought I'd use that as an excuse to give myself this challenge. Today I'm giving you 100 anime recommendations in 10 words or less. So before I get started, I want to go over some guidelines. First off, things I'm not going to be recommending fall into 2 categories. Well, obviously 3 categories because one of them is bad anime. If I don't like it, if I think it's a bad show, obviously it's not going to be here. But in terms of good series, there are 2 categories of things I'm not recommending. The first and most obvious ones are the things that are very new and very popular, in which case there is no point in me recommending them. So we're talking things like AOT, we're talking things like Hiroaka, etc, etc. That's not to say I'm going to be neglecting either seasonal shows or highly popular shows. Seasonal anime are still going to be on here, as in seasonal anime from the last few seasons, but they're just not going to be like the #1 biggest thing from that season. And shows that are a little older, that are really popular, are also going to be on here because I figure there are a bunch of people who are newer to anime who maybe haven't watched some of the slightly older or even early 2012, 2013 type classics. And there are a bunch of people who are watching some seasonal shows, but only the 1 or 2 most popular and might have missed some of the slightly more obscure ones. The second category of show I'm not going to be including is shows with too high of an entry bar. Like, if the show isn't a great place to start a franchise, but you still can plausibly start there and get what's going on, then alright, it's going to go on here. But shows that you really need to watch another show or 2 shows to get won't be on here. Or if they're on here, they're going to be on here in combination with the show you need to watch to get there. So, no Steins Gate Zero, no Heaven's Feel, etc. Additionally, I'm only going to be including 1 show per amount of content. That is to say, if I'm including a show with a reboot, then original and reboot will be included together as long as both are of a sufficient caliber. Finally, there's just one more thing I wanted to touch before getting started, and that is variety. I'm trying to make this list as varied and multifaceted as possible. I want to appeal to a lot of tastes, not just mine. There are a bunch of shows that I don't tend to watch because I don't like their genre. It just doesn't interest me. But that's different from seeing them as bad shows. I can appreciate them as good, worthwhile watching on an academic level without personally being interested in their subject matter. And I'm going to try and include as many of these shows as I've seen because, again, I want to vary this list. Oh, and speaking of seen, I haven't finished every show on here. Some of the series on this list are things that I've been meaning to get back to. Some are shows that are still ongoing or have been ongoing recently and I'm not up to date on the seasonal stuff going on right now. And some of it is stuff that I just recently started watching. Like, there's a show on here that I just heard of for the first time 2 or 3 days before recording this video, but I already know just from the first couple episodes that it's one definitely worth recommending, and so here it is. Oh yeah, and last thing before I get started, I swear, and that is order. I'm not putting this in favorite order or anything like that. It's, if anything, in order-wise, it's roughly vaguely in the order in which I saw these shows, or at least the first couple series align more or less with my first few anime series, and the most recent ones are the things I've watched most recently. The stuff in the middle is kind of jumbled together because obviously I wasn't keeping track, but there you have it. Some things got moved around for reasons of I felt like it fit better, but that's about it. Alright, long-winded stuff out of the way, let's get started. Number 1, Inuyasha, somewhere between shonen and shoujo, a fun feudal fantasy. Yeah, Inuyasha, it's one of those gateway anime and it was mine. And to this day, I still just really love it. It's got its flaws, sure, but it's also got a high level of rewatch value. I can still tune into an episode and just lose myself in enjoyment, and you know, that's worth a lot. Number 2, Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, a quest across genres and through the Clamp canon. If you enjoy any of Clamp's work, then you really should be watching Tsubasa because Tsubasa is kind of a conglomerate of all of Clamp's prior works until that point, and it's got a really fun story to boot. Just watch out for that ending. Number 3, Del Toro Quest, a classic fantasy quest, wholesome but with occasional dark turns. I've never met anyone else who's even heard of this show, and it's a pity because it's really good. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it is a bit of a kid's show, but if you can look past it, it's really enjoyable. Highly recommend. Number 4, Hero Tales. Another quest-based fantasy, this time with politics. Number 5. Cardcaptor Sakura, a truly classic weekly magical girls show. Number 6. Black Butler. Mixture of comedy and dark Victorian drama equals fun times. I wanted to squeeze the phrase one hell of a butler in there somewhere, but it just wouldn't fit with the word count. Oh well. Number 7. Fairy Tail Zero. Fairy tale, but without filler or fan service, plus great protagonist? Or if I wanted to put it in a few less words, fairy tale, but good. 8. Scrapped Princess. The entire world versus one girl and her siblings. 9. Cloned and Cloned After Story. Strong characters, strong drama. A bit tragic though. Yeah, just a bit. Just a little. Number 10. Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Arguably the best anime, a true classic, absolute must-watch. I don't tend to use the phrase required viewing. The reason is simple. Everyone's got their own tastes, and what's really, really amazing and an absolute must-watch to one person might be boring and bland to another. The closest I usually get is saying that if you like a certain genre or style of narrative, then you must watch this series. But an overall blanket must-watch? This is the one and only time when I'm going to give that recommendation. Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is what I would call required viewing for anyone interested in anime. It really does have something for everyone, and if you haven't watched it already, then I urge you to go check it the hell out. Number 11, fittingly enough, Code Geass Lelouch of the Rebellion. The ultimate chess match played with mechs, rebels, and high schoolers? Number 12, Tales of Vesperia: The First Strike. A fascinating fantasy world, fast-paced and surprisingly heartfelt. Vesperia: The First Strike is a prequel anime made for the Tales of Vesperia game, which I have never played. And you know what? It works really damn well just as a standalone anime movie, and it's one I really enjoyed and highly recommend. Number 13. D.Gray-man. Dark shonen deconstruction, not what you'd expect, probably on hiatus. Okay, let me rephrase that. Definitely on hiatus. Seriously, there's a reason that this is the single most popular meme in the entire D.Gray-man fandom. Number 14. Rin, Daughters of Momosini. Dark, gory mysteries combining magic and technology. Definitely R-rated. Yeah. Great story, really intricate. Again, definitely R-rated in every sense imaginable. Number 15. Fate Zero. 7-sided battle royale with magic, strategy, and King Arthur. Number 16. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. 7 servants, 7 masters, but this time with high schoolers. Number 17. From the New World. Future telekinetic society is very, very twisted. Number 18. Spirited Away. Genuinely a good story for adults as well as kids. This is the only Ghibli film I'm going to be putting on this list. I could have gone through a lot more, but I decided to just go with what I see as the single biggest classic, and then just leave it there. I didn't want to take up too much of the list, and besides, honestly, I haven't watched all the Ghibli films. Of the ones I've watched, the other one that I highly, highly recommend is Princess Mononoke, and the only one that I highly don't recommend is Tales from Earthsea. Please, just spare yourself. And if you're a fan of the book, definitely spare yourself. It's better than the Hollywood version, but that's the only good thing I can say for it. Now, keeping with our theme of movies is number 19, Akira. The classic dystopian anime containing bikers, blue people, and angst. Extra heavy on the angst. Number 20, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex First and Second Gig, and yes, that title was probably longer than the description is going to be. Anyway, description. Badass cyborg cop meets meta-narrative subtext about the human condition. Number 21. Darker Than Black. One-off stories about superpowered crime gradually builds plot. And just so we're clear, we're only talking about Season 1, because Darker Than Black only has one season. No OVAs, no second season, they just don't exist. It's a pity, never got a sequel. Oh well, too bad, so sad. Seriously, don't watch anything after that. Number 22. Steins Gate. The time travel exploits of mad scientist Hoin Kyoma! Number 23. Soul Eater. Magical school hijinks, surprisingly dark. Also, this description is asymmetrical. 24. Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit. Survival fantasy. Everyone wants the protagonist dead, but nobody's evil. I really have to do a review of this show because it is damn good and people just don't talk about it enough. It's one of the best medieval fantasy series I've ever seen, and it does a beautiful job of setting up a world in which there is conflict and yet there are no evil characters. No morally gray or ambiguous ones. Everyone is honestly trying to do the best job they can, and the conflict that arrives from that interconnection. It's really interesting and has a fabulous protagonist in Balsa and in Chagum, and yeah, just go watch it. Number 25. Senyu. This explanation's longer than an episode. Watch it, it's funny. Number 26. Death Note. Super-powered murderer protagonist is too smart for his own good. Number 27. Death Parade. First episode is too good to spoil. Just watch it. Number 28. Makaki City Actors. Just keep watching. It will make sense eventually. I promise. Number 29. Baccano. New York Prohibition mob capers with 3 interlocking plots. Number 30. Durarara. Whatever. Bicycle noises. Everyone is the protagonist in their own story. Number 31. K. 7 kings, 7 clans, 7 times the twists and turns. Not much of a description, well, tough. This is one of the single hardest anime to describe, especially since not only is the first season hard to describe, but it's even harder when you try to describe the entire franchise, since the series makes no bones about throwing out both plot structure and genre in order to do what it wants to do with a new story. The genre, plot structure, setup, and the way it works for all of the original K project is different from Missing Kings, and different again from Return of Kings, and I assume it'll be different again from 7 Stories when that comes out. Hell, the different 7 Stories movies might even have a different plot structure and narrative train. So you know what? I've made 4 whole videos talking about K, so just go watch them if you want to know more. Moving on. Number 32. Higurashi no Nakokoro ni. Time-looped horror mystery with some very fun faces. Number 33. Noragami and Noragami Arigato. A known god tries for fame. Hijinks ensues. Number 34. The Unlimited Hyobu Kyosuke. Esper-powered criminals led by snarky sadist fight injustice. Number 35. Hunter x Hunter. Or Hunter x Hunter, whichever. Absurdist shonen adventure. I honestly can't describe this one further. 36. Danganronpa. People trash this anime. It's fun for non-gamers. I do some gaming, but I'm not so big on the light novel-esque games, and, well, I just haven't gotten around to playing Danganronpa. I know it's vastly better as a game than it is as an anime. Trust me, I've been told that many a time. But as a standalone work, I enjoyed the anime, and there's no reason not to have some fun with it. 37. XXX Holic. The Dimensional Witch is awesome. Do not mess. 38. Kabanari of the Iron Fortress. Zombie train battles, great animation, epic action fun. Yeah, it's not got much going for it beyond dumb fun action, but it's a fun time. I enjoy it. Number 39. Chrome Shelled Regios. More fun dumb action. This time, dystopian high school sci-fi. 40. Angel Beats. Afterlife High School, initially comedic, turns tragic. Number 41. Legend of the Legendary Heroes. Half funny quest-based fantasy, half dark political intrigue. Number 42. Gargantua on the Verdurous Planet. Dystopian morally grey deconstruction, but mostly a slice of life. Number 43. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. exploration of human nature through the magical girl narrative. Number 44. Sunday Without God. God abandoned the world. Death ended and the world changed. Number 45. Psychopaths. Dystopian detective drama investigating human psychology. Smart and R-rated. Number 46. All to Know is Zero. Legend of the Galactic High School. Actually pretty good though. Yeah, as that might tell you, All to Know is Zero draws a lot from Legend of the Galactic Heroes. And while it definitely falls short of the two shows it definitely draws from, that and Code Geass, it's still a decently enjoyable time, even if the second season is a little bit rocky. Number 47. Roka, Braves of the Six Flowers. Seemingly normal fantasy, but actually a locked room mystery. Yeah, I don't feel like it's a spoiler telling you that, since that's basically the whole appeal of the show, is the locked room mystery aspects. It's really fun, at least from where I'm sitting, to see a mystery show put into this fantasy genre, and it was a really good time, even if the end ended on an annoying sequel tease. Still, that doesn't keep the mystery from being solved. It's solved. You find out the answer. So, even as a standalone, it's just really good. Just ignore the last, 2 minutes or so. Number 48. Erased. Fairly grounded thriller, slight time travel aspects. Number 49. Seraph of the End. Vampire dystopia, action-packed, and surprisingly heartfelt. Number 50 is number 6. Probably should have organized that better. Anyway, a bleak-looking future, strong characters, very gay. Number 51. The Heroic Legend of Arslan. And thus would the boy become a king. Narrator voice aside, this medieval fantasy epic is arguably my favorite anime ever, and if you like fantasy, or military strategy, or fantasy and military strategy, it's a definite must-watch. Number 52. Assassination Classroom. Middle school assassins try to kill Yellow Octopus teacher. Number 53. The Devil is a Part-Timer. Devil plots world domination while working part-time at McDonald's? Yeah, this is a comedy, very clearly, and it's a good one. Number 54. Future Diary. Bloody, gory, angsty, supernatural battle royale. Number 55. Tokyo Ghoul. Ghouls versus humans, both just trying to live. Who's evil? Number 56. Heimataro. Story of supernatural detective agency raises many ethical questions. Number 57. Servamp. Sassy vampire shenanigans. No bad romance here, just action. 58. 91 Days. Dark mafia drama in Prohibition, New York. Quite tragic. 59. School Live. Nope, not describing this one. Just watch it. Trust me. Number 60. Samurai Flamenco. Not describing this one either. Can't do it. Too strange. Number 61. Ruby. Instead of arguing about whether it's an anime, just enjoy. Number 62. Log Horizon. A good trapped in a game anime? Well, that's new. Number 63. Blood Plus. Starts slow but evolves strong, riveting by the end. Number 64. Blood Blockade Battlefront and Blood Blockade Battlefront and Beyond. Manhattan plus monsters, vampires, and magic, so naturally, nothing's changed. The way that this show nails Manhattan and New Yorkers, even when those New Yorkers have tentacles, wings, and fangs, is just phenomenal, and I love it every time I watch it. Number 65. Black Cat. An underratedly great shonen, strong characters, and no status quo. Number 66. Spice and Wolf. Economics are interesting and awesome. No, seriously! Number 67. Jormungand. Gun smugglers do strategy and hijinks. Number 68. Hellgirl. All of the seasons. Beyond Midnight's veil lies the revenge you couldn't exact alone. This episodic revenge-driven series is really dark and not necessarily a binging show due to its episodic nature, but it's when you're up for a single horrific episode of what can human nature do that's absolutely terrible today, well, this is the kind of show you're looking for. Number 69. Blue Exorcist. Satan's son, magical high school, typical hijinks, but real hard. Number 70, Utawaru Mono. I think that's how you pronounce that. Really slow start, but overall, a good fantasy series. Number 71, Kanan. Synesthete assassin plus clueless photojournalist plus angry crime syndicate. Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for comedy, but this actually isn't. It's more like a dark, gritty mob story, but it does have some comedic aspects, and it's high in action and generally a real good time. On the other end of this spectrum, we have number 72, Kino's Journey. Every episode, a new thought-provoking journey with real depth. Number 73, The World God Only Knows. A tongue-in-cheek parody of typical harem fare. Number 74, Dimension W. Dumb action fun plus some interesting mystery bits. Number 75, Alderaan on the Sky. Military political intrigue, lazy strategist protagonist, not perfect, definitely underrated. Honestly, I don't know why this show did so badly. It was pretty damn good. Number 76, Book of Bantora. Strong original fantasy premise and world building. A little tropey. I've got to get around to finishing that one. Number 77, Izetta the Last Witch. Strong characters, magic, politics, and intrigue. Ending is less strong. Yeah. The ending of Izetta was a disappointment, but that shouldn't stop you from enjoying the rest of it, and at least it's not as bad as a read the source material ending. It does finish, and that is something. 78, March Comes In Like a Lion. A truly beautiful, heartwarming tale of depression, isolation, and family. Number 79, Bungo Stray Dogs. Supernatural detective agency action hijinks meets dark, gritty mafia drama. 80, Trickster. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the rest of that name. Supernatural detective agency number 125. Now with indestructibility. It's not as good as the other Supernatural detective agency shows I've referenced, but it's still pretty good. 81, Magical Girl Raising Project. Magical Girl Battle Royale. Many perspectives, many feels. 82, Saga of Tanya the Evil. Evil small child serves military and picks fights with God. 83, Recreators. Fictional characters and their authors meet in the real world. Yeah, I know my description didn't say anything about the epic fighting and the action and all of that stuff, and yes, that's there and that's really fun and a great time, but I decided to highlight the core of the series, and that really is what it says about what it means to be an author and what it means to create a story and a world, and that is the real heart of the show, and that's what I love about it. Number 84, Kingdom. Young king and nameless boy seek to unify China. This is an amazing anime. Unfortunately, it has terrible animation, but try to get past it. It's worth it. 85, Altair, A Record of Battles. Normal shonen meets fast-paced military strategy with intricate world. I know that might sound a little strange, but there is a feel to a normal shonen series, the normal shonen formulas, the normal shonen way of doing things. We all know what it is, at least if you're familiar with shonen anime. And Altair very much clearly falls within that feel, even if it's a more military fantasy sort of show. It's an interesting combination, and I enjoy it. 86, Princess Principal. Steampunk spies, politics, mystery, and intrigue. I'm so psyched that this series is getting sequels. I'm slightly less psyched that they're going to be movies, because that means 6 months delay on the western end. Yay. 87, The 12 Kingdoms. Isekai, except instead of wish fulfillment, it's psychological horror. 89, Wandering Sun. A grounded look at gender dysphoria and the trans experience. 90, almost there, folks. Juni Taisen, Zodiac War. Zodiac Battle Royale. 12 supernatural warriors, 12 episodes, 12 perspectives. 91, Land of the Lustrous or Hozuki no Kuni. Humanoid gems, fight for survival, strong characters, fascinating world building. 92, UQ Holder. Blenderize shonen and harem cliches and get a good show? Yeah, I was kind of surprised. With all the tropes being tossed around in this series, it could so easily have been unpalatable, but it actually ends up being just a really fun, campy time. Number 93, Children of the Whale. The latest incarnation of How the Hell Do I Summarize? Yeah, no, shows like this, they're just, I don't know how to describe them because they're not so much an overarching plot as they are a progression of narrative. There's a cool world with a unique and complicated structure, and the entire plot is about exploring that world. If you want to know beyond that, just watch it, I guess. 94. Garden of Sinners or Kara no Kyokai. Rather like Fate, but more horror. Yeah, I know that's not a word. Shh, it's fine. Initially confusing, technically Naziverse. 95. Hamtaro. Not to be confused with Hematora. Little hamsters, big adventures, it's Hamtaro time! Want to return to childhood with some cute hamster wholesome fun? Yeah, this is totally the show for you. 96. Chi Sweet Home. The life of an apartment cat is truly an adventure. Another wholesome one. Really a nice time. 97. Golden Kamui. Unconventional adventure to find stolen treasure. That's another one that I need to get caught up on. Speaking of things I need to get caught up on, number 98. Caligula. Slightly creepy premise, makes for interesting ride. Number 99. Kimono no Soja Eren. Medieval fantasy world child wants to raise war alligators. I only just started it, 2 days ago now? And I'm only a little ways in, but I can already tell that this is an excellent series and highly worth watching. It blends fantasy and slice of life in a way that's creative and really, really enjoyable. And number 100. We're finally here, guys. And of course, what else but Legend of the Galactic Heroes and Legend of the Galactic Heroes Di Noia Tesa. Epic space strategy narrative. The character you like will die. Seriously, Legend of the Galactic Death Count has a higher major character death ratio than, everything I've ever seen ever, even Fate freaking Zero. But it also has a fabulous story, a ton of intricate plot points, and it's just amazing. If you like sci-fi, if you like space opera, if you like military strategy, if you like the heroic legend of Arslan, go check it out because it's by the same author. And if you want to hear me talk more about it, great, you're in luck. I'm going to be talking about it a lot in the near future, and I've already talked about it a lot recently. If you want to hear my thoughts on it in much greater length, like the length of this entire video, I am going to recommend that you go over to my channel and check out my review of the original OVA. And if you want to hear some of my thoughts on it that are more aimed at people more familiar with the series, enjoy checking out my character design analysis video on Royenthal's hair. No, seriously. If you want to hear me talk more about Legend of the Galactic Heroes, or really any other show on this list, then why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my channel to catch my videos as they come out. If you enjoyed this video, please like and let me know down in the comments. Also, if you want to hear me talk more about any of the anime I've listed here, well, obviously I've seen all of them, so I'd be happy to talk about them, and I'm looking for an excuse to rewatch most of them, so again, if you're interested, please let me know. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, well, of course, there's all the Legend of the Galactic Heroes content that I've mentioned, and I'm also planning a video on Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero. And after that, who knows, we'll see. This is Coriander Stone, and I thank you for watching. El Psi Congro.